You guys have waited patiently. We appreciate it. You just being patient with the technical difficulties we've had. But the host, Ed, will be sharing some great information with you. He sent me this intro, and I was overwhelmed by reading it. I'm like, this brother in the coaching group with me? I deserve to be in there? So let me tell you a little bit about Ed. Ed has a three-step process that he's going to share. I mean, I'm sitting here reading the intro, just humbled by it. But you know what? I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to read just what he put on this paper because, you know what? I can't even explain it. I'm just going to share it with you. Ed Womack is known as the life transformer. If you listen closely, Ed is about to reveal the process for you to overcome any life difficulty you may be facing and gain the ability to see beyond your circumstances, your faith, and your confidence. Over the next several minutes, you will learn his proven three-step M.A.D process. Now, M.A.D is an acronym, of course, so you'll know what it means. M.A.D means mindset, action, and determination. But by using these principles, Ed is going to give you a roadmap to build strategies and techniques to help you become more original, unique, and immediately resolve 100% of the things that you're dealing with and start taking responsibility for who you are and the person you want to be and the person you were destined to be. Whether you're rebounding from setbacks or compounding your success, this message will be your GPS to make it happen. Your ascent to the next level in 2015 is assured that you learn the M.A.D process. And let me tell you what it meant again. M.A.D means mindset, action, and determination. So ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to be transformed by Ed Womack, also known as the Life Transformer? Stand on your feet virtually, of course. Go in the chat room and applaud for Ed. Show your love and excitement for Mr. Ed Womack, the Life Transformer.
Awesome.
You like that?
Oh, girl, hold on. We about to be inseparable on the road. Wow, thank you so much, Demetri. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So, again, the evening is all about being able to understand that we all have different gifts. We all have different talents. We can all move to a different level. But the reality is, it's okay to be mad. In fact, I want you to say in your room where you're sitting right now, in your virtual entity, if you sit next to somebody that's supposed to high five and say, it's okay to be mad. In fact, it's necessary. If you go to a job today that you're not happy with, if you happen to be in a relationship that you're not ecstatic about, if you happen to have children that are not conducting themselves in the way that you want them to, chances are you need to evaluate being mad. So mad ain't bad. It's necessary. And I oftentimes have to take ownership of what I've done, what I've been through, and I, on occasion, realize that, the journey I've been on has had some peaks, it's had some valleys. I'm not that cat that came from a broken home. My parents were together for 43 years. My dad passed away maybe 5 years ago. So unlike some of our former speakers who don't know their dad, I know my dad. He was an awesome dude, and he was a very academic individual. The reason we didn't like each other growing up was because we were too much alike. But at that time, like most teenagers, I'm like, you don't know nothing. I got this. But during that time when I was, at home, contrary to what the outside looked like, there were a lot of unknowns because during that time there were some things that were going on within the home, which I reveal in my book. I got a little something for you. So for those of you that hang on, it's coming. So, but I mean, there were things that were going on that I didn't want to tell nobody about. I was ashamed of. I thought somehow it was my fault. I didn't really know where to turn. A mentor? Are you kidding me? with the stuff that was taking place in my life. Ed, what are you talking about? Dude, quit playing. I was living in a house with a mom and dad who were very affluent people, and I was sexually abused by my half brother. And I just want to be open, want to be transparent, because one of the things I've learned in part of my M.A.D strategy is, first and foremost, as part of the mindset, I've got to shed myself of all foolishness. I've got to embrace being able to take accountability where necessary, but also realize that I have to understand things occur that perhaps I didn't have any control over. I could have very easily gone into a number of different directions. In fact, my life really has. It's been amazing. I've been up to the mountaintop. I peeked over and seen a few things. Much like Wanda, I've kind of been slightly intelligent most of my life, sometimes too smart for my own good, but not necessarily channeling it in a manner that was conducive to what I really and truly was put on this planet for. And so that's what led me to the understanding that my mindset had to change. So the M within M.A.D, so principle number one is, in order to move to that next level, in order to get better at the level that you're at, in order to really find out who you really are, you got to change your mindset. If you believe it, you can achieve it. And some might say, oh, that's so hokey. Well, I'm a living witness that if you put your mind in order, you evaluate the things that you're feeding your mind, because it is clearly obvious. I like to call it garbage in, garbage out, or GIGO. Some of you may know of it. If you put garbage in, chances are you're going to get garbage out. You can't get something out of you that's not already inside of you. So in order to be able to actually take advantage of mindset shifting, one has to, at times, reprogram yourself. One of our earlier speakers was talking about the programming of the mind and what we are conditioned to have. Absolutely, we are products of our environment, but in fact, guess what? Ooh, newsflash, write this down. I have a choice. Go ahead, put it in the Facebook group. I have a choice. Hashtag M.A.D. Hashtag M.A.D. I have a choice. Go ahead, jot it down, put it in your notes. Because no matter what you're faced with, no matter what you encounter, and what I realized, even in the midst of the peaks and valleys in my life, once I had the opportunity to finally make that step back, once I took the time to evaluate honestly and openly what was really going on with me, I began to realize, okay, I got to channel my efforts. I can no longer do dope because I want to escape from the various. Oh yeah, by the way, I was a crack addict for 18 months. I know I'm too fly. You would never believe that, and these are my teeth. But yeah, I was a crack addict for 18 months because I was escaping. I was trying to run away. I was trying to evade the reality of what was being placed before me, and I chose not to deal with the reality. And what it ended up happening was I lost everything. When I decided to go smoke crack, I was working for a little small company who I won't mention here, but I was making 6 digits as a corporate trainer, traveling the world at corporate expense. And I decided one day, you know what? I don't want to do this no more. I didn't have the resolve at the time to say, suck it up, muscle up, because I've been doing that all my life. And all of those suppressed tapes and lies that I've been telling myself had started to bubble. They started to come to the top. They exploded. They evolved into something I could not imagine. It evolved into me walking the streets of Decatur, Georgia, homeless, broke, busted, and disgusted, without a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. I had to get mad. And it wasn't until I had that moment of clarity and was able to get mad and began to adjust my mindset, and shift my priorities. And your situation may not be drug addiction. It could be a relationship. It could be that just over broke thing you go to every day saying, oh, I got a job. Yeah, I've been there. I used to determine for for myself what my status was based on the title I had or the car that I drove or the clothes that I wore. But the reality became very apparent when it was all gone. There I sat. So I created something in one of my products called the mirror test, which allows me not to look at the outward, but to look inside. So the M in MAD, and I'm going to move on. Before I move on to my second point, we have to understand that the M in MAD is mindset. Channeling what you allow, determining what you engage yourself in is going to determine your mindset. And regardless of where you grew up, you can still make the choice because the choice is yours. Remember that. The choice is yours. Now, as I transition into the A, now you've heard it in a number of different ways this evening. You've heard it in different forms from different perspectives. And of course, there's no one that's going to bring it quite like Ed Womack, the life transformer, because what is for me is for me. And so therefore, I am not the least bit concerned with the fact that Demetra so eloquently brought her key points and key elements for our consumption this evening. That Dr. Wanda brought elements of intrigue and non-conformance, and the fact that they just going to have to deal with me and accept me. That Richard Toddy explained to us how we went through challenges and was able to take those challenges and turn them into opportunities. How Brother Cornelius sat on the end of that gurney thinking about, wow, I just been dealt the blow of lifelessness for most African American males. But instead of caving, he took that opportunity and turned that into a legacy that is going to go on and on and on. And then we look at the concept of my homeboy Otis of no reason why we can't win. And to accomplish and to execute on any and all of those things requires the A. So the A, of course, would have to be action. And action, you know, is really derived or really comprised, excuse me, of a couple of different things. Action would require that you have to do something. Action requires that perhaps in the understanding or in the arrival at a different mindset, because my favorite book, the undisputed #1 bestseller on the planet, the BIBLE, the Basic Instructions Before Leaving Earth, it says that faith without works is dead. That sounds like action to me. That sounds like there is something that we have to do in order for us to move to that next level. Whether we're coming back from a traumatic experience, whether we're sitting in the midst of a situation that seems to be okay for the moment, but we still want more. We know there's something else buried within us. There's something inside of the great Les Brown, another homeboy from Detroit. My goodness, there's quite a few things going on that's coming out of Detroit that are pretty awesome. He says there's greatness within you. And once you have that mindset shift that tells you that there's greatness within you, guess what? You got to take some action in order for it to manifest. You've got to be willing to say to oneself, so now that I know better, am I ready to put forth the effort to do better? As part of that action, one is going to have to realize that, you know, you don't have to be great to start, but you got to start. And oftentimes I am amazed at the number of people that I see that get to the starting block and they're down, they're ready to take off. And they get down, it's a 100-yard dash, and they get in the blocks, they're ready to go off. The gun goes off, and they're still standing there. They never take off. But the clock is still ticking. They're just stuck there. Are you that person perhaps that might be sitting there in the midst of something, the race is still going, but you're Is it possible that you are in that relationship, you're sitting in the midst of those children that are just out of control, you're going to that just over broke entity every day that gives you a little bit of chunk of change, and you know that there's something greater within you because there's greatness within each and every one of us. Are you, I don't know. I cannot be judge, jury, or executioner by any stretch of the imagination, but what I do know is for myself, once I was able to acquire a new mindset, because again, my favorite book that says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. And once I was renewed by the transformation of my mind, I had no choice but to move. And the actions that I choose to take, the things I choose to give my energy to, the engagement of who I surround myself with, I am very selective about who I now work with. If you squabble and run around with turkeys, guess what? You will never, ever roll with the Eagles. I'm just saying. So just go ahead and jot that down in the Facebook group. If you're squabbling with the turkeys, you will never soar with the Eagles. Hashtag M.A.D. I don't know. Action to me has been something that has been challenging. Action has been exemplified tonight. Every single speaker that you saw tonight brought something to the table, but also, unbeknownst to you, over 70% of the speakers that were on this call tonight were outside of their comfort zone, and they all brought it nonetheless. Over 70% of the callers on this Hangout tonight, Be Your Best 2015, had never been on a Google Hangout before tonight. And instead of saying, oh, well, no, you can't be on my show because you haven't been on a Google Hangout, what Ed did was Ed sent out a plethora of emails with detailed instructions, with encouragement and inspiration along the way to say, come on, I can do it. I can walk you through this. I'm going to give you detailed instructions. I don't care if your camera's not great. I don't care if your audio's not great. We're going to take action, and we're going to bring the heat to help some folk be liberated and be allowed to move into 2015 with inspiration, with courage from multiple areas, multiple segments, and ain't no excuse whatsoever. If you didn't find something tonight, back in Detroit, they used to be this saying, sugar to sugar, salt to salt. You ain't get what you need tonight. It ain't our fault. But seriously, if you have not been impacted by something of any one of our awesome speakers tonight, we're going to continue to pray for you. We're going to hope that you will eventually become mad, shift your mindset, take a little bit of action, and then before I move into my final transition, just realize it's simple, but it's not easy. Because if it was easy, everybody'd be okay and everybody'd be doing what they want to do. They'd be living the life they want. They'd have more out of life. But the reality is, you have to get mad. And in order to move yourself to the next level, you got to have some determination. So once you got that mindset adjustment, you begin to take action and you realize, it's more than a notion here. Chances are you're going to need to make some plans. You're going to need to have some real vision, some scope. And the great Helen Keller once said, it's better to be blind than to have vision. Or, I'm sorry, it's better to be blind than to have sight without vision. What are you talking about, Ed? I'm so glad you asked. How about, as I was going through my journey, my struggle, my roller coaster ride in life, there were things that were going on around me that were pretty cool. I was seeing the world at corporate expense. I had made a lot of money, was miserable as hell on the inside. And what it all boiled down to was, I was seeing things, but I didn't have a vision for my life. You see, I was kind of like a flounder out of water. I'd start things, and then I'd get an opportunity or get wind of an opportunity that existed, and I'd be instilled with some knowledge that there was something that was out there that had Ed Womack's name on it, and but see, what you have to understand is once you have that mindset adjustment, you start to take some action, you're gonna get hit, as my boy Richard Toddy said earlier. You're gonna get hit. There's gonna be some challenges. There's gonna be some setbacks. But the key The key to overcoming all that is having the intestinal fortitude, and the third step, or the third strategy in the MAD tactic, is determination. You see, you got to have enough guts within you that you won't quit. You got to have enough gusto and enough energy, enough wisdom to say, you know what? I know this is not easy. I'm going to have to put in some work. I'm going to have to extend myself outside of my comfort zone. Oops. I got to go, Ed, I got to go outside of my comfort zone. I got to be determined. I can't just say at the first sign of something not going quite the way that I want it to that I can just quit and say, I'm done with it. No, you can't. And what I realized is that crack addicts don't typically quit. Crack addicts usually end up in jails, in institutions, or dead. So as a realization of that along my journey, when I had my momentary lapse of insanity, I came to understand that, okay, this didn't happen by mistake. Here I've been afforded a reprieve. I had the opportunity to sit down. My mind is now beginning to purge itself of some of the madness, the clutter, the chaos that had been endured. And now I'm beginning to restore myself. I've taken some action, but I now know that determination is something I have to do. I can no longer find myself at the start line of life, frozen and procrastinate. Oops, did I say the P word? Yeah, procrastination. Yeah, that's what that. Standing at the starting block of a number of different things, of relationships, of jobs, of situations, of chasing dreams, of nurturing the gifts that were already planted within you, building upon the greatness that is within you, but you find yourself, I submit to you, it's game time. Go ahead and put that in the Facebook group. It's game time. In 2015, we stepping up to the plate and we going to get it in, y'all. We going to do the work. We going to run. We going to take it, and we going to use that D to help us move to the next level. And with determination, again, when I encountered the awareness or the understanding that, this whole Google Hangout thing, it could be challenging to some folk. There's some technical issues. There's some issues of individual pieces that none of us have control over. And some of us got hit tonight. As you saw, some of our speaking order got a little shifted, but that's okay. We still got our mission accomplished. And that's what I want to encourage in you as you're going into 2015. Do not be discouraged. Keep in mind that it's okay to be mad. In fact, it's necessary, because if you're not 100% happy, if you're not able to live the lifestyle that Demetra conveyed at the top of the hour or the top of the broadcast, if you're not able to embrace and embrace your thoughts and the things that you're passionate about, as Cornelius conveyed to us, if you're not able to take on a stance or a particular cause and stand behind it with everything that you got, chances are you ain't done yet. So I need you to get mad. I need you to use some mindset adjustments. I need you to take some action, and at the end of the day, you're going to get challenged, as my man Richard Toddy says, so you got to be determined. I happen to be a part of a group of individuals, coaches, that, again, are across multiple spectrums. And if I'm not the person for you, it's not going to cost you anything. First 5 people, you got to go to the website, you got to send me an email address, send me an email. But for the first 5, you get a free 30-minute consultation with Ed Womack, the life transformer. Got a large network. Demetra, you saw earlier tonight. I know you guys know everybody was awesome. That's my teammate. There's a couple of people that were in the Facebook group that were posting that are also part of our awesome group of speakers. And it's not about competition, folks. There could be one of us on every corner, and there still wouldn't be enough. So I leave you with this, my ultimate motto: good, better, best. We can't let it rest until our good is our better and our better is our best. We'll see you at the top now, because the bottom's entirely too crowded. And we so appreciate you for spending time with Be Your Best 2015.
we just had people posting their takeaways. It seems like people got a lot from this conference tonight. And I mean, I was just looking at them, and it's amazing to see how many people tuned in and people got takeaways. So I think we did our job by just making some changes and influencing some lives for 2015.
Outstanding, outstanding. Any last words for you, Demetri? And I'm going to do a round table for those that are still in here. Any last parting words for our participants that are still hanging on?
Sure, for me, mine is really, really simple. It's my favorite slogan. You can't control when an opportunity presents itself. All you can do is be ready. And tonight, I think we laid the foundation for that. So guys, get ready for 2015.
All right. Do that one more time for us, Demetri. I like that one. What was it again? You can't control.
That is my slogan. You can't control when an opportunity presents itself. All you can do is be ready.
All you can do is be ready. I love it. I love it. Brother Stafford, President, coming at you. Any parting words for those that are still hanging on?
Yes, again, please follow me on CS Inspires, csinspires.com. Also, you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter. Also, again, my book is Pathway to Purpose. Take a look at that. And again, I guarantee you it'll bless you. Last but not least, just be aware. And in fact, if you have a son that needs a mentor, I want you to take a look on the website. And I've got an opportunity that's going to be explained in more detail on the 8th, a free webinar, which I'm going to do for you if you're looking for a way to invest in a young man's life that needs some guidance by an African-American male. Again, there's no excuse. Let's get it done in 2015, and I leave you with excuses or monuments of nothing that build bridges that lead to nowhere. And those who use such tools of incompetency are masters of nothing. That's the reason we don't use excuses.
All right, all right. Thank you so much, Brother Stafford. Richard Toddy, mic check. You there, brother? Any parting words for those that are still hanging out?
Yes, I am, Ed, and I'm so happy that we did this event. We accomplished it. And, waiting for 2015, it's only 30 minutes away here in the Dominican Republic. It's 11:25 right now. And,
oh, wow.
We have a big party over here. My house is booming. But, I just want to bring a big shout out and remind everybody, everyone who has succeeded in life have mastered the art of failure. So, guys, don't be afraid to fail. This is exactly what we're going to go to. Face those challenges, embrace those problems, and, see you at the top. See you at the top.
All right, Brother Toddy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, no matter where you are in the world, thank you so much for joining us this evening, this afternoon, this morning, depending on where you're at on the globe. I told you it was going to be an awesome show. Again, I extend my deepest gratitude to all 6 of the other speakers that joined us, and there are no limits other than those that you impose upon yourself. We'll see you at the top. This is Ed Womack, the Life Transformer.